Best in radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You're listening to the Financial Survival Network. We are here with the DollarVigilante.com's proprietor, Jeff Berwick, old friend. We've been bumping into each other at various conferences now for years, been on the show countless times, and he's run into a situation that really you need to be aware of because it happens to us all so many times. And let's face it, we're in a world that is filled with sociopaths, and you go into ventures with the best of intentions and you wind up in just a surreal situation. Jeff, how are you?
I'm hanging in there, Kerry. How are you?
All right. So Gulch, Chile, incredible development. I mean, the land there, I've looked at the pictures countless times. Gorgeous place, and you got hooked on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is beautiful. It's all real. The land is real. It is owned by Gulch. For anyone who doesn't know anything about Gulch, maybe I should just back up a little bit. Gulch was something that I started with a partner that turned out to be a sociopathic criminal named Ken Johnson about 2 years ago. And we had this beautiful, I had this beautiful dream, and I still do, by the way. This is not over at all, but there has been definitely a major problem for quite a while, actually, for at least, pretty much since Ken Johnson's been involved. But we've really been recognizing the problems, and we're trying to fix them right now. But just to let people know, the idea was to start a community in this beautiful area in Chile. It's the land is amazing. It's like an hour west of Santiago, which is this booming, bustling, modern metropolis. The economy is doing very well in Chile. And then an hour to the west is Viña del Mar, probably the best seaside ocean resort in South America. And yeah, the land is beautiful. So we went and looked at it, and we decided to move forward, and we brought in some investors. And pretty much right after that, I thought I was 50-50 partners, but I got really, I believe I got completely defrauded. But I didn't even know it. This is how, and we can maybe go into this later. I know you like this topic, and I'm interested in exploring it a bit as well. With some of these sociopathic people, they're really good. And actually, you mentioned that you had run into numerous of them. I can't say for sure that I've ever fully dealt on this level with anybody who's been a sociopath. So this was my first sort of experience. So just to rush through a little bit, there was a lot of people got fell for a lot of lies, and this went on and on for about a year and a half. And it wasn't until about a few months ago that everybody finally realized that this is, we've been lied to. He's been doing things behind our backs that are unbelievable. And we decided to call a halt to it. Almost all the investors, buyers at Gulch, and there's quite a few of them, are all on board to stop what he's doing and to try to regain this project back to the investors and the buyers. And that's where it's at right now. And so we've decided to go public and to notify people that until Ken Johnson is not with Gulch Chile, stay away from it. This is, you just don't want to be involved with this person. You can do whatever you want. If you don't believe me, go ahead. But don't put it on me if you have major problems. But I think we're going to have a change, and that's what we're trying to do right now. He's pretty much run out of time with a lot of the things, a lot of the lies and a lot of things that he's been saying.
And personally, I don't really know Ken. I interviewed him once or twice. Seemed like a perfectly good guy. And whether he's a sociopath or not, I'm not in a position to say. I just know that there are problems with the project and a lot of unhappy people. When I've seen other similar situations to this, and there's just look at the internet and run it. We've seen people with such personalities before. So whether he is or not, I'm not in a position to say, but pretty interesting dealings, a lot of unaccounted for dollars involved here, right?
We're still trying to figure it out. He had done so many things to keep it so no one could find out what he was doing, and he kept dragging people along, saying, I'll have the accounting done next month. I'll have the accounting done next month. And he somehow managed to convince enough people to keep doing it for quite a while until it finally just reached a point where it became completely clear to anyone involved that he is not doing what he said he was going to do. And then we started looking into it deeper, and we're not sure yet. We're still looking into it. There's definitely legal action going on right now, trying to figure out exactly what is where. We do know, or I do know, to the best of my knowledge, and I've talked to many lawyers about this. I've seen a lot of documentation that the land that Gulch, Chile has is owned by Gulch, Chile. Now, who owns Gulch, Chile is a different story. We're still trying to, definitely the investors of Gulch, Chile don't own it. I thought I was a 50% partner in it. I don't apparently have any legal ownership of it, and haven't for a long time. That I didn't realize until about a year ago. But even then, I was told that it was just because there was the stories go on and on. But what I am saying is that it looks like the land is for sure owned by Gulch, Chile, so that's good. So that's a very sizable, a very valuable piece of land. So at the very least, this can be somewhat salvaged to an extent. The issue at the moment is water rights. We've been told many things by many different lawyers. It's still fairly, I'm not sure where that's at. And so that's going to be an issue. But what's going on right now is that all the investors, and not all, but almost all of the investors and buyers at Gulch are all working together to get rid of this person who has been just doing all sorts of things in secret and not telling anyone anything. And then what we're going to have to do once we gain control, and I believe we will do that, hopefully, and I'm pretty sure we will, is figure out what's going on. And so it's going to be a process, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun, but we do have a lot of passionate people, a lot of people with a fair amount of wealth as well, that are wanting to make this right. And so we do have the capability and ability to do that, as long as it hasn't been completely totally ruined by this one person. And I don't think it has. And so that's where it's at the moment. And what I've been writing about at the Dollar Vigilante recently is that I didn't come out and say it right away. When I first realized looked like there was problems, probably around November of last year was sort of when I was getting pretty sure that this person was not doing what he said he was going to do. And then I was really quite sure, and actually most people were very sure around April, May of this year. And then what happened was in June, a lot of us got together and decided that we have to do something. And we decided to start to move forward, but things weren't moving forward fast enough for any of our comfort. And so we decided now just to go public, tell everyone what's going on so that no one else gets involved in this until we can rectify it.
Wow, what a mess. What a mess.
Yeah.
How many people involved in this thing, roughly, Jeff?
That's a good question. I don't even know that. That's how I've actually been kept in the dark. It's a long story, but generally what happened about a year ago was that this person that's running, managing partner of the company, had somehow convinced a lot of people that I was the one who was causing all the problems that he was causing. And a lot of people actually turned on me and believed him. And this is what can happen when you get involved with these sort of people. You don't know what's real and what's not real. And I got so sort of angry about it. Not angry. I never get physically angry or anything, but just upset about what was going on, that I started to create quite a ruckus. I said, we don't have any paperwork. We haven't seen anything. He's not telling us anything. No one knows what the accounting is. And I created such a ruckus that the investors at that time said, can you please just step away? We're going to deal with it. For whatever reason, there's a conflict between you and this person. And but we've got his promise that he's going to put us on the board of directors. He's going to give us the accounting, but he just wants you gone from the project. And because they were the main investors, I figured I should adhere to their wishes. It's their money involved. And it just unfortunately turned out that they also had chose the wrong the wrong path, and then it just devolved from there.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling that something this well-intentioned and something that could be this great could get this messed up. And there's a lesson in this too, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. What they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And yeah, boy, have I ever learned a ton of lessons. And one is how to deal with sociopaths. As I mentioned, I'd never dealt with them before. And it's quite wild. If you've never actually identified one in your life, and there probably is one, just by numbers alone, I think it's estimated 5% of people in general are sort of like this. So there probably is, but hopefully you just haven't gotten too involved with them. But if you haven't dealt with it, it is quite wild. And I have learned a lot, and I'll learn how to identify it better in the future. Not to say that I won't make mistakes again, but I won't make that exact mistake again. So that's one less mistake that I can make.
Yeah, well, one thing about sociopaths is empathy. They really don't have any empathy for anyone. But they've learned over time is that they can't just show that they have no empathy. So effectively, they have to fake it. And the way that they fake it can be a little bit convincing initially, but in reality, it's far from convincing. Put it that way. I just remember one where somebody had lost a close relative, and the response that came out of this person's mouth about it was just really shocking. It was in a moment, unguarded moment. And it was something where just like, oh my God, how could the person say that? And that's the giveaway. It's like when they come out with their true feelings, which is like they could care less, that they were as like upset over this person's loss as they were about, a dog getting hit by a car in the street. You just know that there's really something wrong with this person that it's just shocking.
Yeah, and you can actually, people have seen sociopaths. Everyone knows who Barack Obama is. That's a very classic sociopath. You look at how he reacts with, for example, the Sandy Hook thing, which there's a lot of questions about what really happened at Sandy Hook. But according to the official story, that there was a lot of children killed in that. And his faking of shedding a tear there, you can kind of see it more once you sort of recognize that these sort of people exist. And you can, like you just pointed out, once you sort of have dealt with them enough, you can kind of see the hints that they don't feel true empathy, and that's a real show that they are a sociopath or psychopath.
Yeah. Yep. And there's a lot of things on the internet about it, but they have to fake normal responses. Like, here's one that they're great orators. They use poetic language and are able to carry on long monologues or stories that are hypnotic and capture the attention of those around them. That's one. They have delusions of grandeur, oftentimes feel overly entitled to certain positions, people, and things, and they believe that their own beliefs and opinions are the absolute authority and disregard the opinions of others. They're rarely shy, insecure, or at a loss for words, and they have trouble suppressing emotional responses like anger, impatience, or annoyance, and constantly lash out at others and respond hastily to these emotions, and another one is you got to take their past and present behavior into account, because, they exhibit abnormally spontaneous and daring behavior. They act outside of the realm of social norms and do bizarre, risky, outrageous things without assessing potential repercussions. I mean, they're professional liars. They fabricate stories and make outlandish, untruthful statements, but are able to make these lies sound convincing with their confidence and assertiveness, right?
Yeah, you just described a person I'm very involved with, I think, to the T.
Yeah. And, another thing is like, consider their relationships with others, right? Do they have friends? Because most of these sociopaths do not have friends. They're really loner types. So you have to always consider that, in terms of, do they have relationships with other people, healthy relationships, right? I mean, that's a big one. You'll see that oftentimes, that they, are estranged from virtually all their family members, because they've victimized those people, and those people eventually say enough is enough. So that's a biggie because, just about everyone has got relationships with some family members, some friends, and, they just won't have any. So how do you cope with them? And really, if you don't need to be with them, get the hell away from them, just stay as far away as you possibly can. And, don't try to cure them because you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to reform them. That's for sure. Just stay away is really, really the key to it all. Avoid them at all costs. Sometimes you're in a work environment, you can't get away from them, it just, it becomes unavoidable, but you need to develop a strategy or a plan to break the ties and just get as far away from them as you can. It's difficult. Sometimes you just can't break those ties, especially if it's a family member. It becomes real hard. And there's different types of sociopaths too. Some are, forget about criminals because, criminals are criminals, but sometimes they're malignant. Other times they're benign. And, it's just, they're definitely going to be flatterers, and they're going to be kissing up to you when they want something from you. It's real tough.
Yeah, it's really tough. And some of the things that you described as characteristics of a sociopath, and just by the way, I don't want to make this about like this. That's the whole reason that I've got a problem is because there's one person. It's all my fault for getting involved with this one person. But just because someone has some of those characteristics, like you said, maybe they're like a loner. Now, you have to be very careful about how you, some people just like to be alone a lot. That's fine. But it's really difficult. But I think people could really do well by reading up on these sort of personality types or kind of people, or even, I don't even know if I want to call them people because they feel no empathy. So they're not really a human being. So, I didn't really know a lot about this whole thing until the last few years and started reading up on it. And it's quite fascinating. I think it can be quite helpful for people, especially to start realizing. And then once you start to realize it, you see it almost every single politician has these personality traits. It becomes quite clear.
Yeah, our friend Doug Casey always talks about how sociopaths are attracted to, government because they get the power and they get to like really act out on innocent people, citizens. Here's a good one that I think you'll like, is parasitic lifestyle, an intentional, manipulative, selfish, and exploitative financial dependence on others as reflected in a lack of motivation, low self-discipline, and inability to begin or complete responsibilities. Sound familiar? Yeah. And it goes on and on. There's a book out there that you might want to take a look at called, where is it? I think it's called The Sociopath Next Door. There it is, by Dr. Martha Stout, The Sociopath Next Door, 4% of Western society, which is remarkable, but most of them are not killers. They're just going to make your life miserable. And hey, it's really, important to recognize them and just insulate them from your life, because they will really make a mess of your life if you let them.
Yeah, like you were just saying, if people know more about this sort of personality type, and I think I've heard stats, you can never know for sure, that they make up about 5% of humans. So you're going to be around them. You see them on TV all the time as politicians and central bankers. But the more that you understand it, the easier it is to sort of figure out who around you is like that. And like you said, just stay away from them. Don't allow them to get into your life, because I can attest, they can actually turn your life upside down, inside out, just like politicians do. They make right seem wrong and wrong seem right. And it just, you don't want to just be around that kind of energy.
Yeah. And, when you're getting into a business relationship with somebody, internet makes it real easy to vet people, or easier. Not 100%.
Yeah. Do a Google search on them and just see what people have said about them. Look at their Facebook page. See if they've got 1 million friends. It's their birthday. If they had like 3 people going, "Hey, happy birthday," and it's like no family, no good friends. Bring up good old stories and stuff like that. Like Barack Obama, that's a perfect example. He seems to have no real history, no friends. No one remembers him anywhere. I don't know where he came from, but. That's the way it is. They have no real friends, and even his wife. That's all very. There's a lot of questions about that as well.
Yeah, and name changes. I think that is another thing that hasn't been explored, but I think you will see a lot of sociopaths change their names quite frequently. Look at the mayor of New York; he's changed his name legally, I think 2 or 3 times. And
really? I did not know that.
Yeah. And
what's his name now? I don't know. I knew it was Bloomberg before.
No, de Blasio.
De Blasio.
Comrade de Blasio. He's gone to court 2 times to change his name, which means he's had 3 legal names. And you got to wonder about somebody like that. Hey, anyway, Jeff, so hopefully we'll see a resolution to this shortly, and project can get back on stream, because it really is a great concept, and Chile is the perfect place for it. Probably the most, other than Hong Kong, most capitalist country in the world right now, right?
Well, that could be argued. Singapore and others are great as well. But Chile is definitely in South America the most capitalist by far, and it's doing very well.
Yeah, for sure. So your work, $vigilante.com. And find the link to $vigilante.com in financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. And Jeff, good luck getting this mess cleaned up. And hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of positive things down the road.
Yeah, thank you, Kerry. Really appreciate it.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Every week the show is growing. Would you like to be a part of it? Then go to clubfsn.com and help support us with $1, $2, $5, or $10 a month and get a host of premium content with newsletters dropped into your mailbox, free books, private audio clips, webinars, and much more. Then join clubfsn.com. If you want to get ahead of the trend and ensure your family's financial security before it's too late, go to clubfsn.com and sign up.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.